with like a lot of memes.
Those are good memes.
This year was just memes.
Thoughtful banter. Sometimes thoughtful, mostly banter. All the memes.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Before we get into this episode, I just want to quickly say thank you so much for today's sponsor, 13 Clothing. 13 Clothing providing us halal, Muslim, Shia, drip. Check out my boy Hussein right now looking fresh. Yes, if you go on the site, the clothing obviously isn't for free, but you're going to save not one, not two, not five, but 10% off if you use our code Thoughtful Banter. Thoughtful Banter, the same way it's spelled on our Instagram.
Yep.
That is with an X instead of an A. If you're on Spotify, you can check it out in the description box below. We're going to just have it typed down there.
Description, yeah.
If you're on YouTube, we're just going to put it down there as well. So go check it out. Thank you so much, 13clothing.com, for sponsoring today's episode.
Yeah. So just to give the topic a little brief introduction, I actually did it last time, but I'm going to try my hand at it this time.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be talking about marriage, which I think a lot of you guys actually ended up liking. But I'm kind of sick of talking about marriage in that specific aspect. But we are going to be talking about relationships, specifically haram relationships, and the reality that a lot of the youth, a lot of the people in my demographic, college and even some post-college, a lot of them either have been or are in haram relationships.
Dude, it is, unfortunately, is so common, and I don't want anyone to think that this is me on a high horse, because I think the truth of the matter is it is so much harder to be in a halal relationship nowadays than to be in a haram one. To not be in a haram relationship is not a passive thing. It is an active thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be passive, I believe you're just going to fall into one. You're just going to, because, like, what are people expecting? It's not, unless you are completely socially inept. Sorry if anyone's feelings are hurt. Like, if you're just a guy or a girl who's relatively attractive and has social skills and can create bonds with people, you get lonely. And the truth of the matter is, hey, let's get right into the nitty gritty. Humans have psychological, emotional, and physical needs.
Absolutely.
Islam is one of the only Abrahamic religions that clearly addresses that and recognizes these needs and doesn't shame us for them, which is why marriage is suggested for younger people.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens whenever people aren't married? Do you think the needs go away?
No,
they don't. And this is the thing. Like, so many of our youth are in these relationships, and it's not like, yes, it is the kid who drinks and smokes and does all the haram stuff. It's also the kid who reads Quran at the masjid consistently.
And even if they're not in these relationships, right? Because this is not to say that every single kid that goes to the masjid or goes to college is in a haram relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But even the people that aren't are struggling so hard.
It's a battle, bro.
I was listening to a lecture, and this guy said, he was like, when you go to college, there are three types of people that don't have like girlfriends or whatever, or boyfriends that aren't in relationships. You have the nerds, you have the losers, and you have the religious kids. And it's unfortunate because, like you said, I mean, kind of our whole podcast is really kind of based around the idea that we have these Islamic solutions available and we don't use them. Dude,
you're absolutely correct. I mean, when I was in college, and you guys know, I probably said it 1,000 times now, I'm going to say it for the 1,001 time, I dropped out. But I took one semester in college, and that entire semester, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. How old was I? 19?
Something like that, yeah.
19 years old. Brother, Hussein. It took all of my willpower not to, like, talk to girls and socialize with girls, because that is a college experience.
That's definitely a large part of it, yeah.
And I know for people like me who are like just have social skills and like talking to people, it's the easiest thing. It really is. It's really easy just to strike up conversation and get to know people.
Yeah.
Like, so the attack is from many different levels. Number one is just the in-person connections, just being social, having social skills. Oh, you want to study? Yeah, great. Like, the thing is, people always do start off as friends.
Yeah.
You're just around people. And then the other part on top of that is, Tinder, Instagram, Snapchat. You know how easy it is to make a Tinder account?
Before you even get there, sometimes it's literally necessary to communicate with with girls at your university. Like I went a whole summer. I had a lab partner that was female for the whole entire 4 or 5 weeks or whatever of that session. She was my lab partner. That means it was like Monday through Thursday, every day I had to sit with her.
What are you gonna do? Sorry, I can't be your lab partner.
Exactly.
Against my religion. When it's not even against your religion, you just want to stay away from a potential situation.
Exactly.
So it's rough.
And it's even sometimes it can even be more complicated for people that are like, I guess, adhering to their religious principles, because sometimes that makes the attraction greater. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but I've had scenarios in which like some people have been like, oh, come for a hug, right? And I've been like, nah, sorry, I can't hug.
Yeah.
And it's been like the pursuit has like increased.
Absolutely.
And sometimes they might not even be like really, really into you, but it's just like
you stand out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is some red pill right here. Let's talk about like what makes you stand out, right? It's like if you're like, I'm just thinking from like a perspective of a woman. Guys are really thirsty. All guys are just like mad thirsty, especially if you're like a relatively attractive woman outside, guys don't know you, they're talking to you, trying to get to know you, you know what's up. The one guy who's like just a dude is 6, but then doesn't want to go for the hug you offer, whoa, be a high value all of a sudden.
Something like that.
That's how it works.
Yeah, you're communicating something different. Yeah.
You're a different kind of dude. I mean, think about it. You're every thirsty guy, a girl comes for a hug, I'm gonna go for the hug. And no, the girl's gonna be like, why? At the very least, it's gonna make her ask why.
Why
are you gay? Yeah. Why don't you?
Yeah,
makes you interested.
Someone was telling me, they said that they were in middle school and he said one of like the prettiest girls in the school like asked him out, and he said no, and then they just called him gay for the rest of the school. The rest of the school year, and the whole school just called him gay.
And your ego's hurt. It's like, you're lucky I believe in God. Yeah, dude, it is a struggle, and I can't even I'm not even out here trying to tell people that you're awful, that you're bad, because odds are someone listening to this is in a haram relationship.
I mean, and the reality is, like we said, it's so easy. Like you were saying, like you can go on your phone, make a Tinder account, and have access to a world full of people that you otherwise never would have had access to in 30 seconds.
Yeah, and it again, literally 30 seconds. It's not hard to get on these dating platforms. They make it easy on purpose because dating platforms are now designed similarly to Instagram, social media platforms. They are. It's the easiest thing. Like I said earlier, I know I've already said it, but it is easier to be in a haram relationship right now than a halal one. It is literally easier. But I know I'm repeating that, but I want us to think about that. Why are we allowing the solution that God has given us to be the hardest thing in the entire world? Getting married is so hard right now on multiple levels. I know this isn't about marriage, but just bear with me for a second, right? Besides the fact of overcoming the cultural norms of where you live, then you have to confront your community norms, which are mixed because the community norms come from different countries, depending on how diverse your community is. And then it turns into the personal preferences a girl or guy has, and then it just gets harder and harder. Meantime, Tinder's there.
Yeah.
Upload cute pic. Change your name. I mean, dude. I'm sure you've had this experience. Like you're on campus and you just see someone from the community or something, and you're like, it's a pot of law.
Yeah.
I'll snitch though.
I mean, yeah. It's not even like I get it.
Yeah, I'm not out here snitching.
I'm not. It's not only I'm not snitching. I completely understand the desire and even can understand the motivation behind why you're doing it.
Yeah, it's and also
there is no judgment from it.
There's no judgment.
No judgment.
It's sad, but it's definitely no judgment because once you start really judging someone, Allah going to test you.
Yeah. With
that thing, I don't want to get tested. What's that dua we're told to make? Don't test me with anything that will be really difficult. On that jump. That's what it's like whenever you're in university. And I hope if you're a parent listening to this, I hope you understand. I think what's also hard for the youth is that these parents think that they understand. They don't. Because sexual pressure now, compared to back then, like maybe 20, 30 years ago, it's like on steroids.
Yeah.
This new stuff is
Everything
on
is sexualized.
Everything is sexualized. I remember reading online, I don't have the exact figure, but if you guys are curious about this, you can go online yourself. I think the average age of youth whenever they discover pornography nowadays is like 12 years old. So it's not even like a little kid might not even be maliciously looking for porn. You're just going to find porn nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, unless your parents are really ahead of the time, and they're not,
And
because they're older. You know, people who work, and no parents aren't going to call up their internet provider and say, "Hey, put a block on these dirty websites."
yeah.
Right. And you got phones now too, so you don't even
Instant access.
instant access. So even if your parent has a block on your home network, if you disconnect from the Wi-Fi,
You have data.
you have data,
Yeah.
so you can see anything.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It just frustrates me, and this is gonna come back to marriage. But again, we're gonna try to not make it about marriage in this aspect.
Let's make it about marriage, bro. Let's go.
It frustrates me when we, as a community, as a Muslim community, again, like I said, ignore the solutions that we have. Marriage is something that we have suggested for people who are younger. I don't know if it's exactly for this reason, but it solves this problem.
Brother, it's one of the reasons.
It's one of the reasons. Yeah, just straight up, it's one of the reasons.
It's straight up one of the reasons.
We have these feelings, we have these needs, like you said, and they're not bad. They're there for a reason.
Brothers and sisters, we've mentioned in this podcast many times already. We're not scholars, but if you want a book that is completely comprehensive and amazing and free and written by a qualified individual, check out Marriage and Morals on al-islam.org.
By Sayyid Muhammad Rizvi.
It's an amazing book.
Yeah, and it kind of goes into some of the stuff that we're talking about here. But just real quickly, to get back to my point, I feel like these parents forget what it was like to be a teenager.
You feel like? I know, bro.
You know,
They're definitely tapping.
even in a society that was, like, as sexualized less, right?
Yeah.
It's like in America, it's
Yeah.
like, say it was sexualized less back when they were growing up. They still had these feelings and they still had these desires, right? And I'm sure this phenomenon of Muslim kids going to the masjid and then having girlfriends on the side is not something new.
Yeah.
It's not. It might be more pervasive maybe nowadays because of the things that we mentioned. But this is not something new. But somehow they expect their kid to go to school, right, get a job, go into the workforce, and then like reject literally all of their marriage prospects, all of their options, won't let them do anything.
Oh man, it's such a shame.
Right, and then they're surprised, like, oh, he's with Whitney.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that happen?
She's with Nat.
How did that happen?
Yeah, how'd that happen? Like, I'll tell you how it happened. They were lonely. People have needs. I don't know how else to spell it out. I don't want to be crass. How else should I say it? How can I get it in these parents' heads? How can I make them understand? It's not my job to prove to people what Islam has clearly shown. It's not my job.
And I think a lot of the times, I don't know, parents are scared. They're scared about the future of their kids.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
that's true.
What if they're not stable? What, they need a job? This,
Bro, trust
this,
God,
and that.
bro.
Trust God. I mean,
I know these people, bro, like coming from the motherland, getting married without a dollar to their name, coming to America, on some sheep wool on their back, got nothing, living in a dirty alley, and then 30, 40 years later, they're working on some high-end position in some company. Look at these immigrant families, bro. Do you see how successful so many of our Muslims are, bro?
Yeah.
Materially?
And a lot of them either came here married or
Yes.
got married once they came here,
And
like
were dirt
poor.
And they forget where they came from, bro. Like, how do you think you got there? You think you got there just by hard work? No, God provided.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you, bro. God took care of you.
Yep.
He's gonna take care of your son and your daughter.
Yeah. I mean, like, assuming that you want your kids to be Muslim, right, and want your kids to have these Islamic values.
Yeah.
What's scarier? Them marrying when they're young, and then you being there to support them through their journey together through life, even if necessary monetarily, or them marrying Whitney, them marrying Brad, them marrying Chad, them marrying Sarah, right? And then slowly, little by little, leaving that Islam behind.
And I think on that point, I think there has been an apathy built towards this situation. We put a blind eye to it, and I feel like to some families it's like an unspoken thing that they're maybe not okay with, but they've accepted. Like he's a boy, he's got needs, and he's not married yet. He'll ask God for forgiveness later. And I certainly do mean to say, it's in the Quran. There's literally a verse in the Quran about people who commit zina, about like asking for forgiveness, and Allah, if they repent sincerely, Allah forgives them. But at any point, whenever we're okay with a certain sin, we should address it, because you don't know when you're gonna die.
Nope.
You have no idea.
No idea.
I mean, I had like two Monster energy drinks today. I could have a heart attack while I'm recording this, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
I prayed before this.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, it really is, and this is like not just the people who we're talking about. And again, I just want to stress, this is not me or us talking from high horses. Most of us have been in these kind of positions.
Yeah.
But it is truly an arrogance that we think we will have until next time. That we think we will have the time to repent.
And let's not even go into the entire aspect of how to muta correctly, ethically, to the level that we should be for it to actually be ethical and halal. Is it practical? As a man or woman who your goal, inshallah, is to marry someone long term, do you think that you are developing yourself to be someone who can be with one person? Because again, we live in this fantasy world. It's kind of like, and you said this in one of our other episodes, people who just say, I'm waiting to get ready to get married. What do you mean you're waiting to get ready? You don't wait to get ready. That's not what happens. So you're training yourself to be with multiple people. And that's not, being with multiple people necessarily isn't wrong, right? But if you're just going and abusing muta, just going person to person, basically one night stands, or like do you think you're building yourself to be someone who can be content with one person? Yeah.
I just want to, I don't know, I'm sure you guys know this, but I just want to clarify. This is not us making an argument against muta.
No. No. You never catch me being against what's halal. I'm not one to be against
this.
What's halal.
This is not us saying that you shouldn't do it. There are no cases where it's applicable.
Yeah.
This is just me talking about the practical, correct application of it.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I think most people, even people that are struggling, can probably do without it, or don't need it, rather.
Yeah. I mean, to my understanding, it's traditionally and practically speaking appropriate for people who have been married before to implement.
I mean, I wouldn't know,
right?
But I wouldn't know that. No.
Yeah. I think we're kind of out of our depths.
Huh? Out of our depth?
Yeah.
Only with that last comment.
Yeah. Let's backtrack.
Okay.
All right. What do you want to pick up on next? I mean, I guess I'll pick up. We just leave in what you said and leave out what I just said.
Yeah. Anyways, all of this to say that the reality of I guess I want to end this with two messages to the communities / parents / grandparents, anyways, authorities of younger children, right? Talk to your kids and listen to them when they tell you the things that they need, right? And a lot of times with this kind of stuff, I don't know, just because a lot of parents lack the ability to be transparent with their children about this stuff, even though it's important that they should be transparent. But anyways, you have to look for signs, because oftentimes your kids, especially if they're like 18 plus, are going through stuff and they need your help.
Bro, by the time your kid's 16, they're interested in having sex. If it's a boy, absolutely, bro. I don't want to snitch on anybody. I'm trying to say this in an appropriate way. I've spoken to some young brothers who were like asking me for advice. Young brothers who are like, "Yo, this is what I did," and I'm like, "I feel for you, bro." I mean, like, I wasn't like, "Yo, keep it up." I mean, like when someone opens up to you about their situation, you don't want to push them away because they're opening up to you, it's very difficult for them. So you don't want to be like, astaghfirullah, bro. Do you feel the flame? Do you feel the flame of hellfire, akhi? Repent right now. Like, that's not my job. And they're already feeling massively guilty. And what's even very dangerous with this kind of sin, and sins in general, is that, you know, you start identifying with the sin, which is the worst thing you should do. Because as Hussein stated in our last episode, our identity should be our spiritual potential, not our sins. No matter what your sin is, you should not identify with your sin.
Yeah.
What is done, but as long as you have breath in your lungs, you can repent and you can change your life and be a completely different person. I know that's corny, but that's the truth of the matter. But the thing is like, with these sins, right? Our youth fall into them. They feel guilty. Because they feel guilty, they identify with them. That's just me. And
that's just who I am.
That's just who I am. And they just hang on to it and they continue doing it. Part of that is because they haven't forgiven themselves. I'm here to tell you, like, bro, who are you to forgive yourself? If you ask God for forgiveness, you don't think Allah can forgive you, bro?
Yeah.
Isn't that one of the greatest sins? To think you've done something God cannot forgive?
That is, yeah.
Come on. But like, I'm here to say, like, to the people listening to this, get your act together. Like, seriously, like, don't think you have a serious issue right now if you're being offended by me being judgmental. First of all, don't listen to me. Just ask yourself, are you okay with what you're doing? If you're not, like, God's right there, bro. Closer than your jugular vein. Please. Just it's difficult, but it is simple. Please, just say, I want to be a different person. It's the same thing as every motivational lecture we hear about the dunya stuff. It applies to spirituality as well.
It's a decision.
That's all.
Decisions aren't processes. Decisions are do or don't do.
Yeah.
You know, what did Yoda say? There's no try, there's only do. Something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah. There is no try. Just do it. Nike.
Just do it. Except not. It depends who's saying that. Your friend's like, bro, deny. Just do it. But no, seriously, like, guys, get it? Like, again, I was talking to some youth, and they're like extremely down and like guilty about themselves doing their thing, and I was like, bro, do you feel bad about it? And he's like, yeah, I feel super bad about it. I'm like,
then change it.
Like, that's all I can tell you, bro. But like, if you feel bad about it, that is a blessing. Don't think that you not feeling bad about it is a blessing. And sometimes we feel this pain about our sins, and we wish that pain will go away. But the truth of the matter is that pain is God giving you a hand, stretching out to you. Like, if you feel that, listen to that. But pain makes us feel uncomfortable, right? We want to walk away from it and go deeper into indulgences because they're like white noise. It's like whenever you're driving like a long car ride and you just need to listen to music. Like, why can't you be in silence? That's sometimes what it is, like spiritual pain, right? I haven't made my salat. I'm gonna stay busy. Like, bro, it's late. Pray. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Kind of in that same vein.
Start being preachy.
I know. Kind of in that same vein.
Yikes, gross.
I know a lot of like people are like, I don't like my community because they're judgmental, right? And sometimes they are legitimately judgmental. Actually, a lot of times they are legitimately judgmental. But even there is something to take even away from that judgment. Maybe you should be feeling judged.
Yeah,
maybe you need to feel judged.
Maybe someone loves you enough to care about your decision.
Exactly.
Act like they're all okay.
Exactly.
I mean, like, I know this is an extreme example, but if a saint was right now next to me shooting heroin up his arm, I'm not gonna be like, oh, yeah, bro, let's vibe. Pass me that needle when you're done. I will slap you so hard, I'll be judging you.
Yeah, and I guess the community the issue with communities become when they judge you about things that don't necessarily need judgment. Yeah, don't
you
necessarily
married an
matter.
Afghan?
Yeah,
You Iranian?
That's when it's stupid and you should just not listen. But when there's legitimate like concern behind these things, even if it's extra, listen to to the important part that's
the
in
kernel.
There. Yeah. Because most of these people aren't just doing it because they like it. Like, they're not. Some people like it. A lot of people.
High
like
horse
it.
there.
A lot of people like it.
Yeah.
But even from the people that like it, there could still be truth in it.
They might be right.
Yeah, they might be right.
Yeah, and like here's what's important to me. You feeling judged isn't an excuse. to keep doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? You shouldn't. We're talking about your life. This is your life. You decide the person you want to be. Yes, it might be like a sin on their part to be a judgy person, right? But okay, what about you, bro? What about you, sister? Like, are you sinning? Why are you more focused on the judgment of another person than God? That's my question. You get what I'm saying?
That was hard.
That's all I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
Why does that bother you? You not see Allah's watching us? And again, I'm not saying I don't sin. I'm incredibly preachy this episode. It is not because
It's both of us.
It's both of us. Yeah, but it's because we're obviously passionate about the subject. Because I can very easily, I just keep it a buck with you. Maybe I shouldn't say this. Look at me like, Matthew, we have to edit this out. I can very easily see myself becoming the people who I'm speaking about. It's very, very plausible.
Yeah.
Like I just said, I'm not saying it because, brothers, I've had zero temptations. I'll be keeping it a buck with you. No, that's not it. Like I said earlier, I was in college. I was like, bro, how are people doing it? Then I realized a lot aren't. A lot of them aren't. That's what I realized.
Yeah. And so the main reason for us doing this podcast from the beginning is to kind of talk about things that issues that we've encountered with the kids that we've talked to, our age and younger, and sometimes even older, and kind of bring them to the light. And these things should be discussed in masajid. Some places they are, a lot of places they're not. Mm-hmm. And again, we just kind of wanted to highlight the Islamic solutions that we haven't taken. And a lot of this stuff we have literal experience with. Like
literal.
Like real life experience.
I'm not just pulling out a thin air, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's like, man, like you're just like you said earlier, that speaker who said like the only people in college who are single are like the basically losers, and then the religious kids. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, whenever like you're just a young man and you have so many urges and desires, and I'm not out here saying only men, women too. I can only speak from my experience. So whenever you have so many desires and you're like a social person, you want to talk to people, and then you're like avoiding, and then like some cute girl walks up to you and she's making conversation. Allah is testing you, bro. I know. It's not even. And people are like, oh, people. Some people listening might be like, oh my god, really? It's like it's not even like people have such a stigma on sexuality. We're humans. We're social animals. You know how nice it is when someone asks you genuinely, "How's your day?" You know how nice that is. Seriously.
How's your day, bro?
I'll tell you, it's a lot better now.
Anyways,
it's very nice. So it's like they get like people. I'm speaking Farsi. I don't know why. People for some reason shame this stuff, and they get that a little bit from other places. Certainly not Islamic. I think we should definitely end with some golden nuggets because we've been all over the place. I'll go first.
Okay.
I think that what we need to take away is, at the end of the day, you have to control your life, and these urges, although they are a thing, and although we recognize that it is harder to be in a halal relationship than it is to be in a haram one, it is your duty to make an action plan to be in one. Do whatever you can. I was speaking to a scholar about this, and he said this. He was like, if it comes down to sinning, you might sin, but don't think because, well, I'm probably going to sin next week. I can barely hold on, so I might as well sin now. No, say, Shaitan, maybe get me tomorrow, but not today. Keep pushing forward and make an action plan for yourself.
Yeah. I think I don't have anything to add to that, honestly. I know for when I was like 17, I was like, yo, mom, I'm trying to get married. And she gave me like she gave me a literal list. She was like, stop listening to this types of music, monitor what you're watching, the type of stuff you're watching, fast, keep yourself busy. And all these, obviously they're not perfect solutions, but they help, one. And two, the second thing she did right after that was, all right, now write a plan. Now make a plan.
Make a plan, get your life together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also like, just think like, okay, again, like we said earlier, no rambling on, but just bear with me, right? We said we don't use this Islamic solutions. If you're really down bad, but you're not fasting at least 2 days a week, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're still listening to Haram music that's all about sex,
What are you doing?
what are you doing?
If you're not lowering your gaze, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're hurting yourself. You're gonna make it worse, bro. The music thing is actually it seems small. That's a good one.
It is, and lowering your gaze includes Instagram.
Allahu Akbar.
Just saying.
That's hard because again, that's on your phone. Sometimes like you just gotta delete Instagram for a couple of days because the algorithm knows exactly what you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Its entire goal is to keep you on there.
Mm.
So you gotta fight the enemy. You gotta fight the nafs. This is really jihad. On some no, don't cancel me. You know, jihad is a spiritual battle, right? You're fighting yourself.
It's a battle with yourself first and foremost.
Absolutely.
A battle with yourself first and foremost.
Bro, most of the time the enemy is not outside, bro.
Yeah.
It's within.
Jihad al-Akbar. It's the greatest jihad. I just want to give like one small hadith and then inshallah we get finished.
This is a dope episode. It's gonna be our longest one yet.
So there's hadith that the Prophet, he sent out a war expedition, right? And this war expedition, you know, back in the day, people had, you know, their camels, maybe 1, 2, they had their armor. This was not like an easy trip, right? So he sends out this war expedition and they're on their way back and they enter the city and the Prophet welcomes them and he says, "Welcome to a people who have completed the lesser struggle.
I'd be mad.
But before them still lays the bigger struggle." And they're like, "Oh my God." They're like, "Bro, I just came." They're like, "Ya Rasulullah." They're like, "Ya Rasulullah, I just came from war, bro." He's like, "I just came from war."
That's no joke.
What could possibly be the bigger struggle? What could possibly be a bigger struggle than that? Right? I lost my brothers. You know?
Yeah, I'd be upset.
And he said, "Jihad an-nafs." The struggle against yourself.
SubhanAllah.
Struggle against yourself.
It's no joke, bro. Let's not take that lightly.
Yeah, and we completely understand. Yeah, there's a lot. I can relate to almost everything that was said in this episode.
I can relate to everything I said.
Yeah,
I understand. That's why I'm speaking about it so passionately.
Yeah.
Just like, dude, just stay in there. Hang on. We gotta make this like another episode. We can't keep rambling on. We gotta talk about this again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can even have like an entirely different session about something as simple as like parents don't even understand the impact pornography is having on the youth, right? Look at me about to start like off on this episode. I can start going. Matter of fact, let's record the next one right now, bro. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening this episode of Thoughtful Banter. Shout out to 2 Fatimas who are watching this show, who are big fans.
Oh yeah, send us very nice messages.
Send us very nice messages on Instagram, letting us know that they appreciate the podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you guys. We're not saying your last names because obviously, like, that's what's that called whenever you say someone's last name?
I don't know. It's just for privacy reasons.
Privacy reasons.
We're not saying
there's
it.
a word though. Now I'm stuck on it.
I don't know.
Bro,
just don't worry about it.
Yeah,
later.
worry about.
Shout out to our. Lastly, shout out again to our sponsor. You know, 313 clothing.
If you want some halal shia drip,
go to their Instagram, go to their website,
right there on the screen.
Buy some clothes. Our promo code is Thoughtful Banter. The A in Banter is an X. It is spelled just like our Instagram.
If you want to look,
and you will not get 1, 2, 3, 5% off. You will get a whole 10% off.
10%.
So inshallah, enjoy your purchase
10%.
and all that we can help with that purchase.
With an X instead of an A. You better use that code today.
Okay.
Get you some Shia drip.
We're done now. Assalamu alaikum.
Thoughtful Banter.
You should keep that in for real.
I Thoughtful Banter.
I'm stopping now.
That looked like a lot of memes.
Those are good memes.
This year was just memes.
Thoughtful banter. Sometimes thoughtful, mostly banter. All the memes.